Okay, to explain that copy constructor concept in your compiler, just quickly see this one. I'm assuming the same class ABC, and in it, as I told you, I will take only one parameter, that is A, and two constructors, one with only one parameter and one should be the copy constructor. So remove this one and the other one should be the copy constructor. So copy constructor, what I am going to pass as a parameter to my copy constructor, in the sense an object of this ABC class. So if I am going to pass integer variable, I am mentioning it as integer. If I am going to pass an alias of an object to ABC class, so simply mention that one, ABC class alias. I am going to pass the alias to ABC class. Clear? I am going to pass the alias to ABC class. That is nothing but my object. So now when I am writing the definitions for my constructors, first we have to take X. Okay, so then remove this one. Here what we have to do, A is equals to X, like this you do. Then over here, receive that alias ABC and percent, and what is the alias? We are saying TOBJ. Okay, TOBJ. So now inside this constructor definition, using the TOBJ, for this A, what I am doing, TOBJ dot A plus 20 I am saying, plus 20 I am saying. Okay, so here remove this constructor with 3 parameters, no need of this one. So inside main, first I am creating object 1. First I am creating object 1 by passing the parameter 10. So now what will happen? With this what will happen? OBJ1 gets created. OBJ1 gets created. Over here this X will become, because only one parameter we are passing, so the suitable constructor will get invoked. So this 10 will get copied over here into this X. So now this X will become 10. So as this A will become 10. When this X goes to 10, this A will also goes to 10. So now inside TOBJ1 we have A value as 10. So now I am creating my second object by using that copy constructor. Okay, so second object ABC OBJ2 of, by passing that OBJ1. So simply when you are passing this OBJ1 over here, this OBJ1 will come over here. This TOBJ will become an alias to this OBJ1. Clear? Because you are passing this OBJ1 over here. So the suitable constructor will get invoked. That is nothing but the copy constructor. Where is that copy constructor? Here. This one is your copy constructor. Copy constructor. So this TOBJ will become alias to OBJ1. So now TOBJ.A we are accessing. That means what we are accessing? OBJ1.A we are accessing over here. So what is OBJ1.A? OBJ1.A is nothing but 10. Isn't it? So 10 plus 20. So now A will become 30. This A which is there inside OBJ2 will become 30. So now if I print the value using cout statement, how the things will be? Quickly you see. So after this what I am doing? I will print all the values from, we are going to have two variables basically, two data members, one inside OBJ1 and other one inside OBJ2. So OBJ1's A will become 10, OBJ2's A will become 20. From this copy constructor. Clear? That we have to get. See, cout of, okay, A value from OBJ1. A value from OBJ1. That is nothing but OBJ1 dot A. OBJ1 dot A. So next thing, cout of A value from OBJ2. OBJ2. So that is nothing but OBJ2 dot A. Clear? So now we will see whether we will get the same output or not. Compile. Successfully compiled. So now go execute, run. See, okay, again I am missing that endl statement. So simply to print the output in a new line, I am using endl. So now save this, go compile and then run. See, first a value from obj1 we got 10, a value from obj2 30. So in this way your copy constructor will work. Hope you understood this one. So quickly we'll see another concept, that is the destructor. Okay, the concept of destructor, or simply we can say the class destructor. So whenever we said a constructor, what the constructor is doing? The constructor is initializing the objects. So whenever we are saying the constructor is initializing the objects. So the destructor, it is having the opposite job of a constructor. So as the name suggests, when a constructor is allocating the memory for your object, the destructor will deallocate. The destructor will deallocate the memory. So to understand that one, definitely we will see an example program for that one in tomorrow's class. I will simply give the explanation for that one in today's class, and we'll see the program and all in tomorrow's class. Okay, what a destructor will do? What a destructor will do? So the job of destructor is to destroy the object. You can remember like this, to destroy the object. So it is also a member function. Like your constructor, your destructor is also a member function. So how we have to write when it is a member function? Yeah, you have to use a set of parentheses. Okay, you have to use a set of parentheses. So it is also a special type of member function. A special type of member function. So like I said, your constructor, it is going to have no return type, but it is going to have the parameters. But over here, your destructor, neither it will have return type, nor it is going to have parameters. So no parameters and no return value. No return value. Neither it is going to have the parameters, nor it is going to have any return value. Your constructor will have only parameters but no return values. But whereas your destructor, neither it is going to have parameters nor it is going to have return values. Clear? So the next thing, yeah, how we have to use the constructor. Okay, the constructor name, it should be same like your class name. Same like class name, prefixed with tilde symbol. We are going to use this symbol, tilde symbol. We call this as tilde symbol. Okay, so your constructor name must be, your destructor name must be same like your class, prefixed with a tilde symbol. Suppose if I have a class A, if I am having class A, then yes, then how the constructor for this class A, how the constructor is going to be? Yeah, constructor A followed by two parentheses. In this way we write the constructor. Now how the destructor is also going to be the same. Okay, A parenthesis prefixed with a tilde symbol. Like this you have to use the tilde symbol along with the code, whatever you want to write inside the destructor. Then close the class, semicolon at the end. So like your constructor, your destructor also comes inside a class only. Like your constructor, your destructor will also come inside the class only. It will not come outside the class. Clear? So the declaration, it has to come inside the class. The definition can go outside the class. The declaration has to come inside the class. The definition can go outside the class. So if you are taking like this, then what you have to do? Then A colon A, write the definition, suitable definition for constructor. Then for the destructor, how you have to write? A colon tilde symbol, A parenthesis like this. Outside the class like this you can write. Clear? Declaration you have to do inside the class, definition you can write outside the class. Or if you want, you can put the definition also inside the class. No issues with that one. Just to avoid the complexity in understanding, we are writing the definitions outside the class. Even for member functions or even for constructors, destructors, whatever they may be. Why we are writing the definitions outside the class means to avoid the confusion. To avoid the confusion. So if you put this entire thing inside the class, what will happen? Yeah, you will get confused between the opening and closing brackets. Which opening bracket resembles what? Whether it resembles a constructor or a member function, what closing bracket resembles what, you will get the confusion. So in order to avoid that confusion, what we are doing? We are simply writing the constructor declarations, constructor, destructors or member function declarations inside the class, but definitions outside the class. Clear? Hopefully this gives a clear understanding to you what is a constructor and what is a destructor. In tomorrow's class we will see more about destructor and further we will move. Thank you everyone.